I'm with featherweight prospect John DeJesus, who takes on John Teixeira at Bellator 261 on June 25th. What's up, John? How you doing?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Good, good. Battle of the Johns coming up.
Let the better John win. That
Yeah. And now we kind of talked about before we start recording here, but you're entering, your third Bellator fight here too in Uncasville. So this isn't your first rodeo. I mean, do you feel like you're a Bellator veteran at this point?
at this point, the big show jitters are gone. I'm just ready to go out there and perform now.
Yeah. You obviously had a very impressive debut. I know I talked to you before that one. Then you took on Aaron Pico. That one didn't go your way. But what would you take from that last fight? What have you taken from the whole Bellator experience? From that first fight to up to this point.
I took away from both of those fights is that I belong. I should have been here a long time ago. And I
Hmm.
have skill set to thrive in this environment.
Yeah, I know talking to you before that Pico fight too. I know to you that like I remember talking to you. It was almost like gonna be kind of like your coming out party. Put the division on notice and things like that. But you're kind of just talking out. I mean, do you still feel like you kind of accomplished that, even though maybe you didn't get the W?
No, I still have a lot to show, man. I'm coming out to shock the world again. I'm coming out to finish John Teixeira. I'm coming out to put on a statement.
Yeah. And just facing a guy like John too. I mean, was that the kind of did you feel like that's like the next best step for you?
For sure, man. I have a training partner back at home, and Jake Schilling, who fights just like him, has the same build. So I felt what he's got to bring. He literally throws the same strikes. I felt everything that he's gonna have to bring this fight already a million times in the gym every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'm ready to rock, man. I'm ready to show what I'm about.
Yeah, we already talked about like Pico, but Teixeira's a guy who was on tough, former UFC guy. So this must have been the guys that you wanted to mix it in with when you signed that Bellator contract. Am I right?
100%, man.
Yeah. And then when you're looking at this one too, what's kind of your breakdown of him? When you're looking at him.
He's tough, very tough. He comes forward. He looks to create car crashes, and apparently he's good on the ground. So we'll see. We'll see what he brings to the table this time around. But I feel like my range, my speed, my movement, everything that I bring to the table is going to be too much for him.
Yeah. And when you're looking at this too, and you're kind of thinking about, is there a certain way you visualize this kind of playing out?
Finish. I'm coming
What
to
round?
one, two, three. Doesn't matter. I'm coming to finish him.
Yeah, for sure. And then just I know it's been about 7 months since we last saw you too. Is there any like big difference that we're gonna notice right off the bat from the last fight?
Nothing, man. I've been working a lot on my wrestling, so he ain't gonna take me down. I can tell you that. If anybody's taking anybody down, it's me taking him down. So, I plan on coming out, showing the world what I'm about, and to wipe off that stain that is Aaron Pico off of me.
Yeah, I already mentioned that 7 months since your last fight too. Was this kind of ideal? Like, did you want to take that much time off, or did it just kind of end up going that way? How did that kind of play out?
I actually had a different fight booked a few months, maybe 2 months back. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I got COVID, so no, this was not the plan. The plan was to get back to it as soon as I was ready, and I was very ready. But it is what it is. We got this fight now, and we're gonna go. we're gonna go put on a show.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking too, who was that last fight against that you were supposed to have?
God, the dude that just fought Sergio Pettis before his championship fight. What's his name?
Dejas?
No, you know his name. It's on my tab page. He's got a weird last name. He fought Sugar Sean O'Malley on the Contender Show. Got knocked out by
Oh.
Alfred.
Okay.
Yeah, that dude.
So when you look at this too, I feel like this all worked out for the better too, because I mean, as far as Teixeira goes too, I mean, he is a pretty decent, well-known name.
For sure, he's gonna he's gonna be that tough guy that's gonna be in my face the whole time. So I'm gonna be able to show the world what I'm about by showcasing my skills against him.
Yeah. I know he was having some like visa issues going into this. Have those been officially resolved as far as you know, or?
As far as I know, they were resolved as of Friday or Saturday.
Okay, good.
Good. We're good to go.
Yeah. Were you ever like worried like it may not happen?
I can't let myself get worried, man. I just worried about me and getting better and making sure that I was ready to rock on the 25th.
Yeah. And I think this will be your first fight with Bellator too, since they've kind of brought in the ranking system too. And obviously, you're not in there right now, but for you too, like, I mean, does that add any like incentive too? Is it nice having that, knowing that, if you do get a win, maybe there will be a number, next to your name. You know where you're kind of, I guess, where your worth is, I guess, in the promotion at that point.
100%, man. I belong in that ranking system. I wanna work towards a goal to get closer to that belt. So 100%. I belong in that ranking system, and that's what I'm gonna come show out on the 25th.
Yeah. Do you think a win over Teixeira puts you in that top 10, or do you feel like you might need like maybe one more after that?
If it doesn't put me in there now, it'll put me in there later.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen eventually. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, for sure. And I know we've talked kind of ad nauseum in the past about just like different guys in the Bellator division too, and obviously Teixeira's the next one up. But I know Adam Borch is a guy that you've mentioned a few times. Is that still a guy that you kind of hope to cross paths with eventually?
Yes, sir. Eventually, he's gonna stop ducking me. Eventually, he's gonna have to face me in that cage. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. As far as this next one, did his name ever come up in conversation at all?
Not at all.
Yeah. And I want to talk to you too, because I know you do train sometimes with Nick Brown too. He's obviously recently signed with Bellator too, and I just want to get kind of your stance too. I mean, how do you feel like he's going to fit into that lightweight division?
Nick Brown's a killer. They call him NyQuil for a reason. It's not because he's sleep, but because he puts other people to sleep. So stay tuned for him.
Yeah. And then when you were kind of looking at this Teixeira fight too, I know you were talking about Schilling and kind of the similarity there. Like, did you kind of notice that right away? You're like, oh, like, as soon as you're watching this guy, you kind of saw that, like, not coincidence, but similarities?
No. When I got the news that I was fighting John Teixeira, I just focused on what his skill set is and went to work.
Yeah. And so it was after that point that you noticed that there was kind of a similarity between the two?
Between who and?
Schilling and Teixeira.
Oh yeah. Once I started watching his fights, I realized that my boy, he's dangerous. Jake Schilling fights just like him, and I always got to keep my hands up with him. So, it's a good battle every time me and Jake Schilling go at it. So. It's good to have a body just like the one you're about to go to war with next.
Yeah. And who are some other guys that I guess you've kind of been mixing it up with in the gym in preparation for this one?
Well, I got my usuals. It's the OG squad. I got my boy Kama Worthy, Justin Patton, Shaka Worthy, who belongs in Bellator. Y'all need to let him in. Jake Schilling. And then some other fellas from other gyms like Stout MMA and the Mat Factory boys with Isaac Greenlee, who's leveled up my wrestling. So we're ready to go.
Yeah. You obviously have this fight coming up, but as far as the team goes, any other like exciting, events coming up for anybody?
Yeah, we got some local fights going on down in Pittsburgh. 247's got some shows. As far as anything big, not as right now. I feel like Kama's trying to get in there in the UFC in September or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you got you, and then I know obviously Nick he works with you guys too. So you guys are kind of holding down the fort at Bellator right now.
100%, man. We're gonna make some noise.
Yeah, absolutely. John, I mean that's pretty much it for my questions. Anything that you want to add? The floor is yours.
Don't blink, man. I'm coming to show out. I'm coming to bang. I'm coming to put on a show and to wipe off that stain of my last fight. So, stay tuned on the 25th.